Hi everyone, and welcome to Alaska Weather. This is Meteorologist Joel Curtis with your Alaska weather for Tuesday, June 25th. So starting out with our hazardous weather today, we have a high surf advisory from 6 a.m. Wednesday to 6 a.m. Thursday along the southwest coast. We have a flood advisory for the Chilkat River near Haines and Klukwan. And that is been extended out to all the way into Sunday, and that's due to snowmelt. For the Squintna and Yentna rivers, we have a flood advisory also for snowmelt, and that's until noon Thursday. And then we still have a dense smoke advisory for Fairbanks and the Tanana Flats until 10 a.m. on Wednesday. So, looking ahead at our thunderstorm outlook for Wednesday, most of the central interior all the way up to the Beaufort Sea and down to about Northway or so. And then for Thursday, a very similar area, but you notice that it edges on up into the northwest as well. And so thunderstorms over the interior has really been a main part of the story. Looking at our fire danger for Wednesday, we have the grass adjective, which is pretty similar to our fine fuel moisture code, is extreme from the Yukon Flats almost down to Tanana and actually a little bit on Kotzebue Sound as well. So the grass is very, very dry, very high to high across much of the rest of the state, and the only place out of it really is the Panhandle. For the spruce adjective, the northern two-thirds of the state, with the exception of the Brooks Range, is really ready to go too, with extreme values from Tanana up into Fort Yukon. So, here's our look at a satellite. We have a weather system out in the Bering Sea, an associated trough that goes up through the Bering Strait. Also, we have high pressure over the Gulf, and you can see all those white specks across Alaska, and those are thunderstorms that are taking place right now. So one more time, I'll run the loop. You can see that low pressure system really winding up there in the Bering Sea. So here's what it looks like with the still shot from visible satellite. 977 millibar low, well southwest of the Pribilofs, bringing some wind to the western Bering Sea, also to the Aleutians, and then on up to almost to the coast of southwest Alaska, and that's what will be pushing that water up when we get to that high surf advisory. Also, we have on the map the thunderstorms, and there's our high pressure, 1021 millibars out in the Gulf of Alaska, and we have that thermally induced low pressure trough all across central Alaska. And what that means is that those warm temperatures are causing that air to rise, and then that means lower pressure at the surface. So for tonight's weather, the remnants of that thermal trough still persists over much of central Alaska. Precipitation has now moved up to the southwest coast, out ahead of that occluded front with the 974 millibar low that's still southwest of the Pribilofs. 1020 millibar high persists over the Gulf of Alaska. And then on Wednesday, that low is just now starting to weaken a little bit, still west-southwest of the Pribilofs. Occluded front still around it, but you'll notice that triple point that was down south of the Alaska Peninsula has now developed to its own low circulation of about 1,006 millibars. And it's beginning to show some onshore flow for Kodiak area as well. 1020 millibar high still out over the Gulf, and we're still indicating thunderstorms across much of the interior, including down to the Copper River Basin. And then on Thursday, those thunderstorms still persist along with that thermal trough that's over the central interior. The low, in the meantime, is now filling to 984 millibars, almost due west of the Pribilofs. The front is falling apart, but it's still causing a little bit of wind and certainly some onshore flow for southwest Alaska and some rain all the way up almost to Norton Sound. And then that triple point low that was down south of Kodiak Island is now drifting off to the east with a 1016 millibar high still staying over the Gulf of Alaska. So looking at some Wednesday morning temperatures, we still got upper 30s and 40s along the north slope, but all the way into the 50s for the central interior. Still is a few readings in south central in the 40s. 40s as you go out the Alaska Peninsula and into the Aleutians, 41 for the Pribilofs. And then for southeast Alaska, you see that we were into the 50s. And then for high temperatures on Wednesday afternoon, a lot of 50s and even touching into the 60s along the north slope. Pretty warm for the Brooks Range on south in the 70s and plenty of readings in the 80s. And then as you get down to south central, just a little bit cooler because there's still remnants of marine air down in there. But still plenty of readings in the 60s, up to 75 at Skagway. So southeast is getting warm, and with some offshore flow now and sunny skies, they're going to get even warmer. In the meantime, for the southwest, temperatures in the 50s for the highs, and then as you go out the Alaska Peninsula, the same, and still in the 40s for the far western Aleutians, and also 48 for the Pribilofs. For low temperatures Thursday morning, temperatures in the 40s along the north slope. You might see about a 39 at Point Hope or so. Lots of readings in the 50s and 60s across the central interior. Down into the 50s and upper 40s for south central, in the 50s for the Panhandle, and out in the 40s as you go toward the southwest and west. For high temperatures on Thursday afternoon, lots of readings in the 50s and lower 60s for the north slope, well into the 80s, 89 for Fort Yukon, so that means that hot and dry fuel that you got going out there. And then we have temperatures well into the 70s for as you in the interior, 84 for the Copper River Basin, and then temperatures bleed off a little bit with some marine moisture and a few clouds as you get further south in the south central, 70s in southeast Alaska and upper 60s. And then as in the southwest, you might see touching the 50s, but a lot of readings in the 40s as you go out into the Bering Sea. So for our 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, June 30th to July 4th, much above normal, good probability of much above normal temperatures for the northeastern sections of the state, and that tapers off as you go further to the southwest with some chance of a little cooler than normal down along the southwest coast for the Alaska Peninsula. And then for the precipitation, again, that's probably a convective signal that should be there, that it's showers and thunderstorms. But for the eastern interior, a little bit better chance of above normal precipitation, but for most of the state, a slight chance of above normal precipitation. And then for 8 to 14 days, July 2nd out to the 8th, you can see that still warmer than normal temperatures, slight chance of that for the eastern and northern interior, and then as you go further west, chances of below normal temperatures, also for the Panhandle too. And then precipitation, just a slight edge to above normal precipitation. So thanks for watching, folks, and please stay safe out there.